What if I told you that your salary is a terrible measure of success, financial or otherwise? That someone earning half of what you do might be living twice as freely. Today, I'll show you 7 freedom metrics that matter much more than your paycheck. Watch till the end of the video because metric number 7 is the most important of them all and will definitely change the way you think. Let's measure how rich you really are. The first metric is percentage of passive income. Salary is equal to time spent. Passive income is equal to freedom. Ask yourself, how much of your monthly income comes in without you trading time for it? On one end of the spectrum is where you spend all your time earning your income. So 0% of your income comes from passive sources. On the other end is earning 100% of your income from passive sources, which means you spend zero time. This is where you want to be eventually, but you should track where you fall in this spectrum. Now, for example, if person A earns X per month, all from a job, and person B earns 25% less than A, but 50% of his income is passive, who is more free? Track the percentage of your passive income. Your goal isn't the biggest salary. Your goal is 100% income with 0% effort. Metric number 2 is percentage of free time. This is the percentage of free time you have, let's say in a week. This is directly proportional to the percentage of passive income that you have, because more passive income means more free time. On one end of the spectrum is 0% free time, which means you spend all your time earning. If you're in a full-time job that takes up most of your weekdays, you'll probably have only 2 out of 7. That is about 28% free time. The typical percentage of free time is probably somewhere between 25 to 30% for most people working a full-time job. The best case, of course, is 100% free time, which means you have actually achieved financial freedom. Now, 100% free time does not mean that you don't do anything. It just means that you're doing things because you love to do them and not because of the pressure of money. You should track where you fall in the spectrum and aim to increase your percentage of free time. Now, this doesn't have to be done only by passive income. It can also be done by becoming so efficient at your job that you can do it in much lesser time. Time is the most important resource that you have, and so this is perhaps one of the most important metrics of them all. Ask yourself, do you have time to think about the future? Or are you just running from day to day and from year to year? This is not just about physical free time, it's also about mental free time. Are you able to sleep without worrying about the next day at work? Metric number 3 is percentage of income spent. This is the percentage of your monthly or annual income that you spend. Again, at one end of the spectrum, we have 0% income spent, which is probably not realistic. The other end is 100% of income spent, which is disastrous. In some cases, you may be spending more than 100% because you have taken loans that effectively puts your expenses beyond your income. Most people who think they're saving enough fall somewhere in the 75 to 80% range, which is not good enough. Ideally, you want to be below 50% or somewhere in the 20 to 30% range, which means you should be saving 70 to 80% of your income. If you think this is unrealistic, think again. I've covered this in another video where I talk about how savings rate alone can predict how quickly you can retire. I'll put the link in the description. Watch your percentage of income spent. It is the single most important indicator of whether you are moving towards financial freedom or not. Before we look at metric number 4, please take a moment to subscribe for more stories on financial freedom, career growth, and happiness. Metric number 4 is location flexibility. Can you work from a beach or your hometown, or can you work while you're traveling? Or are you tied to one cubicle in one city for one paycheck? People think remote work is equal to laziness. It's not. It's geographical independence, which is a modern form of wealth. So at one end of the spectrum, we have 0% location flexibility, which means you have to be in one location and perhaps commute to office all 5 days of the week. A hybrid model and work from home on a few days doesn't change this too much if you still have to be in the same city for most days. At the other end of the spectrum is 100% location independence, which means you have enough passive income to not care about money, or your job is so flexible that you can work from anywhere, anytime. This is the ideal place where we all want to be. However, even if you get to a place where you're 50 to 60% location freedom, you're better off than most people. Here's your freedom test. If you just wanted to experience living in another city, can you move for a month or two without worry? Metric number 5 is financial runway. If your income were to drop to zero today, how long can you sustain financially? Is it 12 months, 24 months, or much lesser? The reason for the drop in income could be anything, including things totally out of your control, such as losing your job. But what really matters is how long you can sustain. On one end of the spectrum, this could be zero, which means you need to keep getting income all the time. This means being laid off will be hell. Even if it doesn't happen, the prospect of it happening will keep eating your peace all the time. At the other end of the spectrum is forever, which means you have achieved financial freedom and don't need active income to sustain yourself. This is the place that we all dream of being in. Even if you haven't gotten there yet, you should aim to have 12 to 24 months worth of money saved to ensure that you have some freedom to quit your job without worry. The path to financial freedom is nothing but increasing this number steadily over time until it reaches such a large number that it lasts forever. Metric number 6 is percentage of monthly spend on EMIs or loans. What percentage of your monthly spends are towards paying back loans? At one end of the spectrum, this could be 0%, which is the ideal place that you want to be in. Even if you have to work to get your income every month, at least you're not spending beyond your income and means and setting boundaries. At the other end of the spectrum is 80 to 100%, where most of your spends are towards paying EMIs for things that you bought on loan. This is the worst place to be in. If you're here, the impact of losing your job is the highest, and it adds a level of anxiety that is totally not worth the happiness that the things you buy may give you. My number for this metric has been 0 for more than 15 years, and it's given me a lot of freedom and peace. This is the one number that you truly can control fully, and it should be close to 0. Metric number 7 is the percentage of time that you enjoy at work, and it truly is the most important metric. At the really bad end, this could be 0, which means you do not enjoy your work at all. At the ideal end, you enjoy 100% of your time at work. This is where we all aspire to be. But in practice, even if you do what you love, it's probably okay to be somewhere in the 80% range, where you enjoy 80% of your time at work. There will always be aspects that you don't enjoy. However, most people end up being in the lower end of this spectrum, where they enjoy only 20 to 30% of their work. This is what you should absolutely avoid. But why do we get into such a place? The biggest reason is because we don't even know that we are really unhappy due to our work. We have normalized being stressed out and experiencing lingering unhappiness in our lives. If you're spending a large amount of time at work being unhappy, tracking this metric will help you realize it. It will prod you to take action, to make changes. The other reason is that we've normalized running the rat race without asking why. Ask yourself, why am I running this race? Real wealth is invisible. Measure it wisely. Hit subscribe, and if you want to know the top 8 habits that helped me achieve financial freedom at 39, watch this video.